Is the Fraser Minten experiment over? Could we possibly see him headed back to the WHL? As well as a Leafs NCAA prospect is tearing it up right now, and we also seen a surprise appearance from Pontus Holmberg. We'll break all this down for you coming up on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into that, we just want to say that 80% of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you're looking for a home to daily NHL, daily Leafs content, look no further, go down below, hit that subscribe button. Me and Mark will be here all season long, keeping you up to date on what's happening around the league. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today. That is the NCAA prospect is tearing it up right now. And this is a guy that might not be on your radar. He was a 6th round pick by the Toronto Maple Leafs. His name is VT Miettinen. He collected a goal and a power play primary assist in a 5-2 loss against Alaska on Saturday. But so far, throughout this NCAA season, in 6 games, he has 7 points, 3 goals, and 31 shots on goal. Mark, we've seen a lot of these guys recently. Leafs prospects around the world are playing very well to start the season, and this just means a lot for the Leafs' future.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You see, Toronto, we're going to be a team where they're going to be competing enough where they won't have high draft picks. They're going to start moving picks out to upgrade positions throughout the season to make that big push. So getting a guy like this in the 6th round, it's not a certain where it's an NCAA player. He has 7 points in 6 games, but guys like this do mature pretty fast. This is a guy that you could get come over, might be an AHL guy. He could fill in the bottom 6 or middle 6 if his development continues and he breaks out a bit. But from a guy from Finland, he's a winger. He's looking so good in the NCAA at the moment. And just the Leafs are getting really good draft picks late in the rounds. I mean, you've seen a guy like Minten get drafted, I believe it was 2nd round. You see a guy like Joseph Wall in the same situation. And then you see a couple guys like this guy in the 6th round where his development could get better and could be an impactful player not only on the Marlies, but maybe on the Leafs someday.
Yeah, definitely. And we see a lot of these guys when they're drafted, when they're 18, 19, and now they're getting into their early 20s and they're starting to develop and starting to become great players. And this is the case with Miettinen here. I know last year, towards the end of the NCAA season, we did see a lot of these college prospects make their way over, whether it was to the Growlers or to the Marlies. Some of them stuck around for this season. So it'll be nice to see maybe this guy makes the trip into the Leafs organization this year towards the end of the college year, and hopefully he can continue his success within the Leafs organization.
Yeah, that's the big thing. If you can get this guy over and he's an impactful player on the AHL, people don't really realize, but the development in the AHL, you see guys, if he can come over and help light up, help the Marlies win a championship, this does help with leadership and just overall helping the players just get to the next step. Obviously, if you have a bunch of young guys on the Marlies and they're kind of losing every season, they're a non-playoff team, it's not great for their career, their growth, and just overall morale. But having guys like this who can light up the AHL would be perfect just to help, like I said, the development of guys like Nick Robertson, Pontus Holmberg, and players like this.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. But we're going to get into our second topic, which is somebody you just said, and that is Pontus Holmberg. Makes a surprise appearance. And as we take a look here, he was on emergency loan to the NHL yesterday or the other day for that game against Tampa. He's still there right now. Obviously, he's played pretty good here down in the AHL this year, and now he's up with Toronto, and we get a quote here saying he's a 200-foot player. He can play in all situations. You can rely on him. I'm happy for him that he's getting this opportunity. And Mark, obviously, everybody knows we've been pretty big on Pontus Holmberg over this preseason and this offseason, and it's just nice to see this guy get into the lineup the other night, and it looks like he's going to get into the lineup for the next game as well.
Yeah, the big thing is you've seen him get into the lineup as the 4th line center. And overall, David Kampf moving up in this lineup and Pontus Holmberg in the 4th, it kind of gave a new look to this bottom 6. I mean, Kampf, Domi, and Nyes looked incredible. But obviously with Pontus, the 4th line did look good. Like the coach of the Marlies said, he's a 200-foot player. I know a lot of speculations was a guy like Bobby McMahon, Nick Robertson, one of these guys would be the first up. But it kind of does make sense with Minton being scratched that you get another center up, a guy that can play a 200-foot game where you're not just kind of throwing an offensive player or just a pure defensive guy into this 4th line. So Pontus did fit perfectly in this line. Like I said, it did look a little better with Kampf down there because Kampf was incredible on defense. But I think Kampf's game did struggle there. So filling out Pontus in the bottom line and then moving Kempf up. I think this was incredible and a great move by Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said previously, Pontus has had some decent years down there with the Marlies. Last year, he did have 22 points in 38 games, and this year he had 2 points in 2 games. And we did see him up in the NHL last year for 37 games, where he put up 13 points as well. And like we've seen here, obviously, like they say in this article here, he's a great player. He plays great defensively, plays great offensively, and I think he's the perfect centerman to kind of line up there with a guy like Ryan Reeves down there as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing. He brings the defense and he does bring some offense. He's a guy that can kind of run a couple plays on that fourth line. He's a guy that can move the puck. And overall, he's just a great player. Like I said, I was kind of surprised when we didn't get a guy like Nick Robertson or Bobby McMahon up, but it does make perfect sense, honestly, getting the centerman up that can kind of dictate the fourth line, get a couple easier matchups. And this is a guy that the Leafs could slide in on the penalty kill if he does end up staying.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. I really hope we get to see him some more because I really like this guy's game. Everybody knows how I like these two-way type players. He can go out there, he can get it done offensively, but he is rare. He really exceeds on the defensive side of the puck as well. But we're going to get into our next topic of the video here, and that is the Minten experiment over? And I know this has been a topic that me and Mark have been debating on over this last little while. But as we take a look at the lines during practice today, Minten was the extra forward, and Holmberg took that fourth line role, and David Kampf slotted up, as we were just mentioned. And as we take a look here, David Alter says, as the practice begins shortly here in DC, looks like Fraser Minten remains the extra forward wearing a gray jersey. And as we take a look at Fraser Minten's stats here over these first 4 games of the season he played, he doesn't have any points. But Mark, I feel like this guy does a lot more off the stat sheet than he does on. I feel like he's a great defensive player as well. But when you kind of gotta send a guy like Pontus Holmberg in there to see if he can produce some offense. But I know with the way that this Leafs team is, the top 2 lines are really offensively gifted and they really get out there and score those goals. But I do really think that having a guy like Fraser Minten down there in that bottom 6 to help out defensively could really help as well.
Yeah, so the big thing is you kind of look at the first 4 games Minton played. I think he was exceptional during these games. I thought he looked great. He was forechecking hard. Defensively, he looked good, and he looked good on the faceoff draw. But the biggest problem with this now was David Kempf did slide up into the third line center, and this line looked almost dominant. We've seen Nye score 2 great goals to tie the game when they played Tampa. Domi set this up, and Kempf is this defensive guy that can still output a tiny bit of offense. So the worst thing now with Minten is you see Kempf step up into this third line role. Minten wasn't in this game, and you've seen this line kind of light it up and get on track like they should be doing. So this kind of does push Minten down a bit. I think Holmberg does look good on the fourth line as well. I think Minten would look good there as well. But do you really want to spend Minten's rookie season on the fourth line between a guy like Gregor and Reeves when you could send him back to the WHL? He could get a lot of touches. He'll be the first line center on this team, and it would help with his development more than playing a fourth line role with the Leafs. So I do think Minten will go back. I don't think this is a situation where Minten did anything wrong. Obviously, his offensive gift wasn't really gelling in this. The line did look good, but like I said, they weren't getting a lot of scoring chances. They weren't filling the stat sheet with this. So I think he does go back. I think Kemp did look good on the third line, like I said. And I think Holmberg is a guy that we do see kind of staple this Leafs fourth line until maybe they make a trade farther into the season, or if someone else on the Marlies does step up.
Yeah, and like you said, I really was impressed by Minton's play through the first 4 games. Even though he didn't score a goal or get any points, he did really prove that he's a great defensive forward. And I really do think that, like you said, this guy may be sent back, but we'll have to see what happens here because he's still only 4 games into that 9-game sample size. So we could see maybe if Pontus Holmberg isn't playing up to par, maybe we could see Minton get back in that fourth line role just to try him out, see how it goes. Because a guy like Noah Gregor has impressed me a lot. His scoring ability on this fourth line has been great. We've seen him when Keefe shakes up the lines mid-game. We've seen him slide up to that third line at times, even to the second line at times when he's having a hot game. So maybe having a guy like Holmberg or Minten down there with him will really help him get set up, get a few more goals, and produce some offense on this fourth line.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like I said, I think Minton would fit perfectly on this fourth line, but it's the thing of, would you rather him play in the WHL and get his 20 plus minutes a game, or would you want to shelter him in a 12-minute game, or even 9 minutes sometimes when the Leafs need their top forwards out? So it's kind of a tricky situation. Obviously, Minton's going to be a little devastated getting sent back down, but I don't think this is a thing where Keefe's looking at him saying, hey, kid, you weren't good enough. I think it was just a more of a, hey, kid, listen, we want you to get a better development in the WHL, and it would be better for both parties in the team and the player to get the reps in the WHL.
Yeah, and this Maple Leafs roster is a tough one to crack. They got so many great talents there. And for a kid to come in at 19 years of age and make the opening night roster and play such a great preseason like he did, it's definitely not a knock against him if he gets sent back down. I know Keefe has been really high on this guy. In interviews, he's talked very highly of Fraser Minten. So I don't, like you said, I don't think it's the matter that, oh, you haven't been playing that good. It's the matter that we want you to keep developing so next year you can come out and be a better player than what you already are.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You look at Minton. I know earlier on when they were in the Traverse City tournament, I said this guy could be a future top or middle six guy, and we've seen him take that huge step just at 19 years old. So another year of dominating the WHL, just getting that confidence under his belt. I think this guy is for sure a player that we'll see in the Leafs middle six for a good portion of his career. So I think, like I said, you get this development, you bring him back next year with more. He's hungry. He wants to be in this lineup. He's got a taste of the NHL. So you send him down, he dominates, he comes back next year. His offensive game picks up, and I think this guy is your future third line center, and this is a guy that could maybe even push up to your second line future center.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with you. I don't think this is the last we'll ever see of Fraser Minten in a Leafs uniform if he gets sent back. He is a great player, a great two-way player, fits this Maple Leaf system really well. So we really hope that he keeps continuing his success if he gets back in the WHL this year. I know Kamloops could use him right now because they're having a rough start to the year without him. So we'll have to see what happens over these next couple of weeks, see if he gets back in the lineup, see if he continues his great play. They might keep him past that 9-game sample size, but we'll let you know what happens. We'll keep you up to date on everything that's happening around the Fraser Minten saga because me and Mark have been really invested in this experiment that Sheldon Keefe has created over the opening 4 games of the season. But we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here now, and that is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to, I think everybody could guess this, our boy Patrick G Mafia. Shout out to you, Pat G. We love seeing you down in the comment section below. Day 1 supporter. We love seeing you down there. He says, best win of the year. The Leafs shows a lot of heart with that comeback victory. And that's right. When I sat down to watch that end of the game there the other night, I couldn't believe that they rallied back. It was such a great victory, such a great showing from a rookie like Matthew Nyes as well. I think it was just a great victory for them the other night, Mark.
Yeah, the big thing is you've seen Joseph Woll and Matthew Nye step up, which are 2 rookies for the team. The top 6 did kind of struggle. I mean, we've seen Tavares and Nylander lighting it up. Nylander did have a goal in this game. He played phenomenal as well. But it's nice to see the Leafs, middle 6, bottom 6 finally stepping up. The goaltending looked incredible with a guy like Joseph Woll coming in and with relief. So overall, I think this was a massive win. It gets the confidence up, and it's going to make a good narrative leading into Washington on, can they kind of feed off this? Can they build off this win and just get a win streak going again where they kind of slumped for a little bit?
Yeah, and you know how much I love these unsung heroes that go out there and kind of steal games away. It was such a great game to watch, and the game against the Capitals is going to be a great watch as well. I really do think it will be. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers, so we really appreciate it if you went down and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed at least, make sure to check this video out that's popping up on your screen right now. But I've been KC alongside my co-host Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.